It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling, running through the list. Car payment, rent, credit card minimum, that thing the dentist said you should fix but keep pushing back, the tire that's been making a noise for 2 weeks. You have a job, a real one. You make decent money. And somehow, you still feel like you're one bad month away from everything falling apart. That feeling isn't weakness. It's not bad luck. And it's definitely not because you drink too much coffee. It's math. Specifically, math that nobody ever showed you. I'm Ape, and today we're talking about the gap between what you earn, what you spend, and why most people never close it. Let's go. Before we start, meet Alex and Jordan, two working adults, combined income of around $100,000 a year. That's solid, upper middle range for most countries. They work hard, they're responsible, they're not buying yachts. We're going to use them for the rest of this video. By the end, you'll see exactly why they still feel broke.
Here's the first thing nobody tells you about salary. The number on your contract is not the number you live on. By the time taxes, national insurance, Social Security, whatever your country calls it, take their share, you're looking at significantly less. A $100,000 salary doesn't become $100,000 in your bank account. Depending on where you live, it becomes somewhere between $65,000 and $75,000 take-home. That's before you spend a single dollar.
Alex and Jordan take home roughly $6,000 a month combined. Sounds fine until you look at where it goes. Now here's the problem. Most people have no idea what normal spending actually looks like. We assume everyone around us has their finances sorted. We assume we're the only ones struggling. We're not.
Research consistently shows that money stress affects people at almost every income level. It's not a broke person problem. It's a system problem. And the system is very good at looking normal.
Let's talk about housing, because this is where the wheels come off for most people. In most major cities right now, London, Sydney, Toronto, New York, Amsterdam, Singapore, the entry-level price for a basic home is somewhere between 8 and 15 times the average annual income.
8 to 15 times. 100 years ago, the ratio was roughly 3 times. The conventional wisdom, still taught in finance textbooks, says housing should cost no more than 3 to 4 times your annual income. Nobody told the housing market.
Let's run the numbers for Alex and Jordan. They want to buy something modest, nothing crazy, a reasonable home in a reasonable city, let's say $450,000, which is below average in most major English-speaking cities right now. Down payment, ideally 20%, that's $90,000. Their combined savings, maybe $15,000 if they've been disciplined. They're $75,000 short. So they put down 10% instead, $45,000, which takes them years to save. They take a mortgage on the remaining $405,000. At current interest rates, which have been elevated for several years, their monthly mortgage payment is roughly $2,400. But that's just the bank. Property taxes, depending on country and city, add several hundred more per month. Home insurance, maintenance, the rule of thumb is 1% of the home's value per year, which on a $450,000 home is $375 a month just for when things inevitably break.
Add it up. Mortgage, $2,400. Taxes and insurance, $400. Maintenance reserve, $375. Total monthly housing cost, roughly $3,175. Out of $6,000 take-home pay. That's over half their income, gone before a single grocery is bought. Financial advisors say housing shouldn't exceed 30% of your income. Alex and Jordan are at 53%. And they're the responsible ones who saved a down payment. Most people have less. The system didn't design this to be comfortable.
It designed it to be just barely possible. If housing is the anchor, the car is the chain. Here are the actual numbers as of late 2025. The average new car payment in the U.S. hit a record $772 per month. 1 in 5 new car buyers is paying over $1,000 a month just for the car. The average new car price crossed $50,000 for the first time in late 2025. $50,000 for an average car. And because $50,000 sounds scary, the industry has a solution. Stretch the loan. 20 years ago, most car loans were 3 to 4 years. Now the average is nearly 6 years. Over 20% of new car loans in 2025 were 7 years or longer. Here's what that actually means. When you stretch a loan, you lower the monthly payment. Looks more affordable. You sign, you drive away. But you're now paying interest on a car that's losing value every single day. By year 3, you likely owe more than the car is worth. That's called negative equity, being underwater on an asset that's actively depreciating. When you want a new car, you roll that negative equity into a bigger loan on a more expensive car. It's a treadmill. The faster you run, the further behind you get. Back to Alex and Jordan. They have 2 cars. Combined car payments, being conservative, $1,200 a month. Insurance for both, $300. Fuel, $300. That's $1,800 a month on vehicles. $3,175 on housing, $1,800 on cars. They've spent $4,975 out of $6,000. They have $1,025 left for everything else: food, utilities, clothes, phones, internet, healthcare, emergencies, savings, fun, life. $1,025. APE is not judging. APE is just doing math.
So what do most people do when $1,025 isn't enough? They use credit cards. As of Q4 2025, Americans alone owe $1.277 trillion in credit card debt. That's a record. The average household carries around $9,000 in revolving credit card debt, meaning they're paying interest on it every month. The average credit card interest rate has crossed 22% annually. That's not a typo. If you carry $9,000 at 22% interest and make only minimum payments, it takes over 7 years to pay off. You end up paying roughly $3,600 in interest alone, on top of what you originally spent. You're not buying things, you're renting them, and paying a 22% annual fee for the privilege. Alex and Jordan have $6,000 in credit card debt. They've been pretty responsible, actually, less than average. At 22% interest, they're paying around $110 a month just in interest charges, just to stand still. That's money going directly to a bank in exchange for nothing.
We need to talk about what living inside this system actually does to you. Because it's not just financial, it's physiological. Research published in peer-reviewed journals has found that carrying significant debt measurably impairs cognitive function. You make worse decisions, you're more impulsive, you sleep worse. Studies looking at what happens when people's debts are cleared show dramatic drops in anxiety symptoms, sometimes cutting them nearly in half. Think about the mortgage. When you owe significant money every month, your entire decision-making changes. Want to leave a job you hate? Better make sure the rent is covered first. Want to start a business? Can you afford the risk? Want to ask for a raise? Do it too aggressively and you might get fired, and then what? Your debt makes every decision for you before you even consciously make it. That check engine light. If you have no savings, that light is a countdown to crisis. You panic, you stress for days before you even know what's wrong. Your focus is destroyed. If you have $10,000 saved, that same light is mildly annoying. Same light, completely different life experience. The system sold Alex and Jordan a lifestyle and then charged them 22% to maintain it. So what's the actual fix? Here's what most people think. They need a massive income increase, a promotion, a windfall, something big to break out. They're wrong. The first real shift isn't dramatic, it's $10,000. When you have zero savings, your brain operates in pure survival mode. Every decision feels dangerous. Every unexpected expense is a potential catastrophe. When you have $10,000 saved, something measurable changes, not just psychologically. Studies have found that having a financial buffer reduces cortisol, your body's stress hormone, in measurable ways. The check engine light becomes an inconvenience. The dentist becomes manageable. The unexpected becomes annoying, not catastrophic. And here's the part that changes everything. When you're financially desperate, you negotiate badly. You accept whatever salary your employer offers because you can't afford to push back. You stay in bad situations because leaving feels impossible. With $10,000 saved, you negotiate from a completely different position. You're not desperate, and everyone in the room can feel that. Most people never even need to use their emergency fund. They just need to know it exists. That's the $10,000 shift.
If $10,000 is the shift, $20,000 is where gravity starts working for you instead of against you. Here's the math that most people find hard to believe until they live it. If you save $500 a month and invest it at historical average returns, getting to your first $20,000 takes a certain amount of time. Getting to your second $20,000 takes noticeably less time because your first $20,000 is now working alongside you. An 8% annual return on $2,000 is $160. Nice coffee money. An 8% annual return on $20,000 is $1,600. That's a car payment, generated while you slept. The math of wealth isn't complicated. It's just time plus consistency. The hard part, and nobody talks about this honestly, is the identity shift. Most people treat saving like a diet. They restrict, they burn out, they go back to old habits. People who actually build wealth don't see saving as restriction. They see spending beyond their means as the restriction because it removes their choices. Debt doesn't just cost money. Debt costs options.
Let's go back to our couple. Right now, Alex and Jordan are spending everything they earn. The mortgage is $3,175. The cars are $1,800. The credit card interest is eating $110. Utilities, food, phones, the rest. Zero savings, zero investments, one bad month away from falling behind. What if they made two changes? First, they sell one car. Replace it with a reliable used car. Monthly payment drops from $1,200 combined to $400. They've just freed up $800 a month. Second, they put that $800 directly into a low-cost index fund, every month, automatically, like a bill. Year 5, roughly $57,000. Year 10, roughly $140,000. Year 20, potentially over $450,000. From one decision, one car. They didn't get a raise. They didn't start a business. They didn't win anything. They just stopped paying $800 a month to sit in traffic in a car they couldn't actually afford. The second car was a monthly subscription to feeling slightly richer than they were. Turns out it was quite an expensive subscription.
Here's everything in 60 seconds. Your take-home is significantly less than your salary. Build your actual budget from that number. Housing costs have broken the traditional rules in most major cities. Know the real monthly cost, not just the mortgage. The car industry sells monthly payments, not cars. The total cost of a $50,000 vehicle over its lifetime is dramatically higher than $50,000. Credit card debt at 22% interest is one of the most expensive ways to exist. Every dollar you pay off is a guaranteed 22% return. Financial stress changes how your brain works. It makes you worse at the decisions that would get you out of financial stress. $10,000 saved changes your psychological position. $20,000 changes your mathematical position. Debt doesn't just cost money. Debt costs options. Alex and Jordan's problem isn't their income. It's the gap between what the system told them was normal and what the math actually says.
The financial industry is extremely good at selling you a lifestyle on credit. They profit when you buy. They profit again every month you carry the balance. They profit when you upgrade. They profit again. The house, the car, the subscriptions, the tap-to-pay convenience of never quite knowing where your money went. None of it is designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to make you comfortable enough not to question it. Real wealth isn't the truck. It's not the granite countertops. Real wealth is having margin. It's sleeping without the list running in your head at 3 a.m. It's the check engine light being annoying instead of terrifying. Real wealth is options. You can choose not to play the game the way they designed it. The math is on your side if you actually run it.
If this video made you look at your car payment differently, good. That's exactly what it was supposed to do. Hit subscribe. Ape will keep explaining the stuff that costs you money that nobody ever broke down properly. And if compound interest is so powerful, imagine what happens when this channel compounds your financial knowledge over time. Alex and Jordan are going to be fine. They watched this video. See you next time.